Our next presentation is entitled Corporate Gain, Ethical Pain, the Corporate Duty to Prioritize People over Profits. Please welcome Bram Yu.
Halfway across the world, in Dhaka, Bangladesh, a 10-year-old girl named Arifa was toiling in a crowded, sweaty garment factory. Instead of going to school or playing with her siblings, Arifa was forced to work, making clothes for 65 cents a day. She endured extreme heat, toxic chemicals, and filthy working conditions while the threat of physical abuse loomed over her. Arifa was subjected to these conditions by her employer, a company raking in billions that could easily have been used to improve her safety and well-being. Today, millions of people are in similar situations, harmed by businesses that seek to cut their costs and maximize their profits. This is totally fine. There's no problem with this. Corporations like Nike and H&M do this all the time without breaking any laws. And as consumers, we wear the clothes, buy the products, and endorse these brands without a second thought. But of course, it's not fine. Even though sweatshops, child labor, and other exploitative practices are often legal and the norm in many countries, they are still immoral and harmful. Is it right for businesses to prioritize profits using any legal means necessary, even if it puts some people in harm's way? Or should companies choose to sacrifice money by putting morals first, implementing business ethics, sustainability, and corporate social responsibility to look out for the people they impact? Although many corporations believe that maximizing profit is the most important goal of a company, I argue that businesses should sacrifice maximizing profits in order to prioritize ethical practices, even going beyond what is legally required. From a broader perspective, most people agree that morals should dictate how we live. But to go a step further, I believe that morality should always trump expediency, practicality, and self-benefit. In other words, doing the right thing is more important than getting ahead. In his book, for instance, some businesses hide losses from their investors so that they seem more successful than they actually are. Technically, hiding losses is legal and would benefit the company's image, but it is deceitful and is immoral and should not be done. In his book, De Officiis, the philosopher Cicero states that morals are more important than any amount of profit because wrong actions damage a person's soul. Even though we might gain temporary rewards from stealing, lying, or other immoral actions, we do not truly benefit in the long term. For as Jesus says in Mark 8:36, "For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but forfeit his soul?" Admittedly, one function of business is to make profits and increase shareholder value. But by focusing only on money, businesses neglect other aspects of their company, such as their employees' well-being. This leads to employee exploitation. For example, American retail businesses are notorious for offering bad jobs to their employees. These consist of low wages, long hours, and minimal working conditions. A typical full-time retail worker makes around $21,000 a year, below the poverty threshold for a family of 4. As MIT professor Zeynep Tan says, retail workers' jobs are designed in a way that almost guarantees they will fail. The retail industry has made a conscious, selfish choice to prioritize profits above the well-being of their workers. Companies purposely exploit their workers in other forms of business as well. In sweatshops, employees like Arifa work 14 to 16 hours a day for minimal pay. Child labor and sexual abuse are common. Sweatshops are widespread in Southeast Asia and Central America, where there is a lack of labor laws. Shockingly, behind these sweatshops are mega corporations whose products we embrace. Nike, H&M, and Zara are just a few such companies. Despite sweatshops being legal and allowing businesses to speed up production and maximize their income, they are unethical and disregard basic human rights. There are other options these businesses could implement, but they have chosen detrimental practices that cause human suffering and even death. In addition, business has other purposes besides making money. It is true that profit determines the success of a business, but it's not the only factor. Companies need to consider moral and social aspects because they greatly impact society, government policies, the environment, and our everyday lives. Businesses have a duty to act in the interests of the people they serve. Now you might be wondering, if corporations don't prioritize their profit, won't they lose money and go out of business? This concern of harming the bottom line is one that Jack Welch, Milton Friedman, and other business figures have held. However, the answer is no, because in many cases, implementing ethical standards actually leads to overall company success. When businesses focus on acting ethically and taking care of people, even though profits aren't necessarily guaranteed, they achieve other important benefits. These include employee happiness, good company reputation, and customer loyalty. Mercadona, the largest supermarket chain in Spain, exemplifies this. CEO Juan Roig established a culture of trust and support as he prioritized ethics, employees, and customers over shareholders. Workers were given more training and independence, higher salaries, and healthcare benefits. They were treated as people instead of tools. This shows that the lives, health, and safety of employees are directly improved when companies act morally. As a result, workers are more productive, giving consumers a more positive experience. Mercadona still enjoys financial success, with sales 50% higher than its competitors, despite not making profits its highest priority. Many businesses have gone too far in their singular focus on the bottom line. The unchecked pursuit of profits has harmed the poor and disadvantaged. Think back to Arifa toiling in the factory as her opportunity for an education and a better life is snatched away. This needs to change. We cannot stand by as the sanctity of human life is destroyed, as people profit from others' suffering. Whether you are a business owner, an employee, or a consumer, we all have a duty to fight for justice and morality in the workplace. Business people should refuse to work with companies that are not committed to moral practices. Governments should create policies to regulate and punish immoral businesses. And as consumers, we should buy from ethical corporations and boycott those that are not. Lastly, as Christians, we are all called to emulate Christ's love and selflessness in all we do, both in the business world and in our daily lives. Thank you.